Shalom. First, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, from whom I learned this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 elect. And I am Mayakala. And up here on the screen, you can see the word focus, according to Google's definition. And it says focus is the concentration of attention, energy, or activity on a specific subject, object, or goal, often requiring the exclusion of distractions to maximize understanding and effectiveness. Says it acts as a central point of activity. And they give some examples here, such as Firefox Focus Privacy Browser or Cincinnati Public Schools Student Information System. Says some common synonyms include concentration, centering, direct, and hone in. And staying focused is essential when you're in this truth and learning the 100% truth from the men of Great Millstone, and staying in the scriptures, because any distractions can cause you to fall away from this, to turn away from the Lord Yahweh. It can be distractions from family, friends that used to be in the world, or that you used to have in the world. It can be distractions can come from any number of places. It could be the focusing too hard on things at the plantation, or at your job, or just could come from a number of places. So staying focused is essential. And I just have a couple verses that I wanted to bring out. I'm going to go to Psalms. Salaki, actually, I'm going to go to the book of Matthew first. Chapter 6 and verse 22. And this is in the red letter, so this would be Yahweh Shai speaking. It says, "The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light." And that just goes back to just as I was just saying, keeping your focus, studying and staying in this truth, whether it be through learning through the elders, the apostles directly, or whether it be learning through videos and reading the scriptures daily, getting understanding of what you're reading. I'm going to go over to Psalms. And verse 119, or chapter 119, verse 37. It says, "Turn away mine eyes from beholding vanity, and quicken thou me in thy way." In the NLT, it says, "Turn my eyes from worthless things and give me life through your word." And I'm going back to the KJV, looking at this word vanity. I believe in the Paleo Hebrew it would be pronounced haval. Haval. I just want to get a quick definition of it. And it says, under the biblical usage, it says emptiness, vanity, falsehood. I'm dropping down to 1C. It says worthlessness. And under the Strong's definition, it says from the same, it says in the sense of desolating, evil, literally or morally, figuratively, idolatry, uselessness. It says as deceptive, adjective, also adverbially in vain, to lie, lying, vain, or vanity. So that's kind of like I was mentioning earlier, not keeping the eye single, not looking back at the things that you were in the world, the man that you were in the world, or what your status was in the world before you came into the truth. That's leaving those things behind and staying focused, looking directly in front of you or what's ahead of you. All right, because you never stop learning once you come into this truth. There's always something that you're going to learn every time you open up these scriptures and begin to read, or whether it be through learning from videos of men of Great Millstone, or learning directly from the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. And this won't be very long in Salakia if I'm all over the place, but I just have a few verses that I wanted to bring out. I'm going to go into Genesis chapter 19. And I want to start at verse 15. It says, and when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters, which are here, lest thou be consumed in the iniquity of the city. Verse 16, it says, and while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand. And these are the angels that were guiding him away and guiding him out of the city. The messengers of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai. It says, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, the Lord Yahweh being merciful unto him, and they brought him forth and set him without the city. Verse 17, it says, and it came to pass when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life, and look not behind thee, neither stay thou in the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be consumed. And I'm stressing the fact that he said not to look not behind thee. That's keeping your eye single, keeping your eye looking forward, not looking back at the things of the world. I'm going to drop down to verse 26. So I'm not going to read all of this, but I just wanted to read verse 26. It says, but his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt. So looking back, any distraction could take you away from this truth, could take you out of this truth. All right, you get somebody at the plantation offering you some type of promotion, or offering you all the overtime that you can get. Those could be things that could just take away time from you studying, time from being in the brotherhood, being with your brothers. It's things that can just distract you and take you away from this truth. And before you know it, you can find yourself trying to get a certain status back in the world, the way things may have been before you before you came into the truth. Anything that can pull you away from the time that you're spending in this truth. And in a sense, that's what it's doing, is taking you away from this truth, or delaying or arresting your development. All right. anything that's counterproductive, that's taking the time away from when you could be studying, when you could be watching videos. Of course, when you're watching these videos, you always want to be able to take notes if possible. I'm going to go over to Proverbs. And I'm going to go to chapter 4, verse 25. It says, let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. In the NLT, it says, look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. Not being like Lot's wife, turning back and missing the world, missing the things that she left behind. Because when you're turning back, that's truly what you're doing. You're longing for those things that you once had in the world, or the way things may have been for you in the world, because it was so much easier. But you have to keep your eyes single, looking straight forward, moving ahead, and staying in this truth. You can't let anyone, like I was mentioning before, you can't let people that you might have been around in the world who may come around and make it look like they having so much, or they got so much going on back in the world, being a distraction to you. And you may even have to cut those people off altogether. And in some instances, depending upon the circumstance, you may have to just cut off a family member altogether. It might even be immediate family that you may have to just altogether cut off if they're arresting your development. All right, and the last verse that I wanted to bring out is in the book of Matthew, chapter 5. Verse 29. And again, this is in red letters, so this is Yahawashi speaking. It says, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. So when it's talking about plucking out your eye or cutting off a member, that's indeed what it's talking about. It may be talking about it's not speaking literally. It's speaking about cutting off people that you may have been associated with in the world, or like even a family member, if that family member is a distraction for you. All right, or if that family member is constantly trying to get you to come back to the church and leave this truth alone, this 100% truth that we know. All right, you may have to just altogether cut them off, because it's a distraction to you. All right, and as far as it mentioned in hell here, we know that there's no place underground that's hell. We're talking about a condition. All right, we're talking about a state of being. It says, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. I mean, and that if you find yourself being distracted, that's like I said, that distraction can pull you right out of this truth, and you find yourself doing the things that you were doing when you were back in the world. That's being cast back into a hellish state or a hellish condition. All right, but I'm not going to beat this thing to death, and I think I've made the point there. So I pray that this has been edifying to the listener. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahawashi, Bahashem, Rakha HaKadosh, Shalom.